go. That's right. Find out everything you want to know at the Headley Group Real Estate Show. Tune in for all the hotness. When it come to real estate, we cover all topics. First time home buyers selling your property. Want to build an empire? Real life monopoly. We talk duplexes, triplexes, multifamily units, and commercial investments. We got you. The Headley Group got you. You can own whatever you want. Who gonna stop you? We got you. The Headley Group got you. Here's your host, Mike Headley. Hey, ladies and gents, this is Mike Headley. We are back live on the Headley Group Real Estate Show. I always tell you all the time that we have a treat. We always stay in line with real estate, but this is going to be real estate, but this is the main thing that we need. We need to know about money. And we have a talented young lady who's, I've been following her on IG, and I was like, wow, her spirit, her energy, and her knowledge is very impactful. I felt as though that'd be great for our community, so I reached out to her. Let's give a warm welcome to a money mentor, educator, Tangie Seals. Hey.
Thank you. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh man, I am excited, and I want to say thank you for taking the time out for coming on the show and spooling us with all this great education you about to give us on money management.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So before we dive in, tell us about Tangie and tell us the impressive, which she has in her bio. She paid off $33,000. And what's that period of time?
18 months.
18 months. Was it college debt?
Yes, it sure was.
Tell us about it. Let's go.
Yes. So hi guys, my name is Tangie Seals. I am a money mentor, and I was inspired to get into my line of work after I, like many people, kind of fell into this pitfall of being buried deep in debt. And I was able to take myself out of that. And I've just been, and I'm still on my money journey. And just as I learn and grow, I like to share the things that I learn, specifically with millennial women of color, because I feel that financial education, there's kind of a gap of that amongst women and in communities of color. And so I like to help other people who look like me achieve their money goals.
That's a beautiful thing. So what I would like to know, Tan, because one thing about the show, we keep it real too now. Like we rather be, we ain't all tight. Because I think people are like that, So right. That $33,000, give us the sacrifice, because I think that's the main thing people don't want to do. People want it now. I don't care. What was some of them sacrifices that you've done, if you don't mind sharing the story, that made you pay everything off?
You're right. It's funny because people will ask me a lot about, like, oh, you paid off a lot of debt in such a short amount of time. That's so great. That's so exciting. And it is great and it is exciting, but it was not at all a fun time for me. So usually when people bring that up, even my face, when you mentioned it, my face, like I rolled my eyes. I was just like, oh my God, because that was not a fun period of my life, because I'm one of those people, I love, massages and getting my nails done. And I like all that kind of pampering, self-care stuff. And I love to go out to eat. And I'm just a person who kind of likes those lifestyle luxuries. You can kind of say I'm not a big shopper, but I like those experiences, and I do love to travel a lot. And once I kind of got real with myself, I saw like a lot of people, you graduate school and life is all great. You're like, yeah, I'm going to make so much money and life's going to be wonderful. I'm going to be rich, woohoo. And then your student loan servicer is like, congratulations, you have a degree. Now pay us our money back.
Reality hits.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And you're just like, oh, it's not all sunshine and roses. I gotta put on, I like to say I have to put on my big girl panties and get to work. And for a while, honestly, I ignored it. I kind of just wanted to, hide. I like to say hide from my debt, because it was just so much. And I didn't know how it didn't seem feasible for me to be able to get out of that. And then I did just kind of, one day I just got tired of being broke, quote unquote. And so I looked at my bank statements, and, your bank statements will give you a summary, and it'll say, hey, this month you spent this percentage on food and this percentage on living and whatever else. And I saw that I was spending a lot of money dining out at restaurants, and also a lot of money, getting my manicures and pedicures and all of these things that are enjoyable and that, we deserve, but I just truly couldn't afford it at that time. And so I saw, okay, you got a mountain of debt over here, but you want to get your nails done every week. That doesn't make sense. And I was also planning to buy a new car. I was like, yeah, I'm grown now. I want to get my new car, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, this is stupid. This doesn't make any sense, especially because I had a car. My car was running. It was fine. It was functional. So I said, you know what? You need to separate your needs from your wants. I scratched that idea to get a new car, and I had been saving up some money for it. And so I'd use that money as just like one, lump sum toward my debt repayment. And once I saw my debt balance decrease, it was $5,000. And once I saw it decrease, and I was like, ooh, that felt good. It hurt. It hurt because I had to see $5,000 leave my bank account, right? And I was like, oh, I don't have it anymore. But when I saw that balance decrease, it felt really good. And then I was more motivated to, just tackle my debt. But yeah, it was a lot. Like my friends would go out to eat, and I'd say, oh no, I'm gonna stay in the house. So I was missing out on social gatherings. Hey girl, we're going to the movies. Oh no, I'm gonna stay home and watch Netflix and Hulu. So it was saying no to a lot of things and a lot of experiences that are important to me and mean a lot to me. But it does come with a sacrifice, because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're not going to get to where you want to be. So you're going to have to make some sacrifice. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to hurt a little bit, but it's going to get you to where you want to be in the end.
Oh my God. I mean, but you said so much there. We're going to unpack some of that.
Yes, let's do it.
What I got with that was that put fun off for now, right? Put fun off for now. And this way we enjoy our harvest later on, but we got to plant them seeds.
Absolutely. Right? I talk a lot. So I just said all those 50 million
too.
words. And
exactly,
I like the way that you just shortened that. I'm gonna steal that whenever I.
Well, that's a good one. I just stole it from somebody else. Yes. But the good thing about it is that I just, like you said, the social gatherings. Okay. So you can't do that. What was that reaction like? The friends like, hey, now you're not going to party with us. You're not going to enjoy this food with us. And I know you was a war in your mind. You're like, oh, I want to go. Like, how did you fight that?
Yes. So the one thing about me is that I am such a loner, and my friends and family know this is why I have few friends, but I'm an introvert. And so honestly, for me, it was a little bit easier than I think it is for some people to decline certain invitations and things like that, because my people know, okay, well, Tangie likes to be left alone. If she says no, we're just going to let her do her thing. And, there isn't that pressure to, hey, but why? We haven't seen you. Hey, you need to come out. You need to come out. I didn't have that, like a lot of people do. But I think that if you are that type of person where you usually are, you're a social butterfly, you're always out and about, and people are not used to you saying no to seeing them and hanging out with them, share with them what your goal is. Share what you're doing. I went on a trip earlier this year, kind of pre-COVID time, just like a little road trip here in Texas. And there was a couple who was supposed to come. It was a group trip. There's a couple who was supposed to come, and they make good money, but they said, hey, we're on a budget. We're working toward our goal of buying a house. So when they declined, the invite of the group to come, we understood. It's not that you don't like us. It's not that you don't want to hang out with us, but you're working towards something bigger. And people who love you get that.
Correct.
People who love you, they want to see you win. So yeah, I think sometimes it's just a matter of sharing what you're working on with other people. And then you'll see that you'll get a lot of support too from them. Again, if they're your true friends and they truly care about you, then they'll want to see you progress. And so if you share that goal, then they'll know, okay, well, hey, we're going to let her do her thing. We're not going to beg and plead for her to come out and waste money with us.
Well, and speaking on that, because I think I've experienced with myself is, as you go through your progress, everybody won't be on the same page. So you'll lose some people along the journey. I call it the train ride. So it's like some people on for a couple of stops, and some people there to go all the way, right? So did that happen to you in terms of, okay, now, Lisa or Eric, they was there for a short period of time, and now while you're going on this financial journey?
For sure. There were some people, and even one friend in particular. I was thinking about her earlier because I miss her. I need to reach out. But there was just like whenever I was kind of early on, just realizing like I am not being smart with my money, and I knew. And I'm someone, like a lot of people, I was raised by a single mom, didn't grow up with money, and And I felt that, you know, like I knew why we were in the position that we were in, and I didn't want to make a lot of those same mistakes that like my mom made and some of my family members made with money. And so once I kind of realized that I was doing that, you know, I started to make that shift. And because of that, it did cause me to, at least with one really close friend who I love dearly, but we just, she is that person. She's just more out and about, more like into things. And it was kind of early on in us building, just kind of building our own brand, you know, just on social media and different things. And, you know, that can be expensive early on. You can be spending a lot of money on things and sometimes unnecessary things. And so there was a lot of things she was wanting to do. Oh, let's go get this, rent this, sign this contract for this co-working space, and let's go pay for this thing, and let's have this event, and no one's even bought a ticket, and let's go, you know, like all these things. And I'm like, no, like this doesn't make sense. You know, at first I was like, okay, yeah, this is fun. And I was like, no, this doesn't make sense. We already have no money. I don't want to keep wasting my money. And then, you know, and then on top of that, it was a lot of like, hey, let's go out, let's do this, let's wear this outfit, and let's just buy. And I'm like, no, I don't want to shop. I don't want to spend more money on things that aren't necessary. I don't want to spend money on things that aren't making me money. Right. So it's just kind of a plug, but just like a ship with like a leak that, you know, needs to be plugged. And so I kind of felt like, you know, we're wasting money here. And I just finally was just like, I can't do this. It's not fitting into what my bigger goal is. And so, yeah, it's actually been years since we've spoken.
Wow.
And yeah. And now that, you know, I mean, I've accomplished a lot of my goals, and of course we're always working on new ones, but I'm like, I need to reach out to her and kind of see how she's doing, because that was the only problem. You know, it wasn't any other issues, but it was just like, I need to have tunnel vision and focus on this goal. I can't have any distractions and any riffraff. But yeah, it did kind of cause me to lose someone very, very dear. And that can be tough. You know, I understand for a lot of people that can be tough, but I always say, and sometimes people disagree with this, but like, you have to be selfish. And I don't think women, it's funny, we have this stereotype of being selfish, you know, our boyfriends, husbands, whatever, will call us selfish, but we're actually not. Women have a very, very hard time putting ourselves and our needs first. And I'm not that girl. Like, I am the queen of like shutting everything down whenever it comes to protecting me and my goals and my safety and my happiness. I'm very fine with kind of removing whatever I need to remove from my life. And I think that while you're working on a big goal, I think that more, not just women, but men too, I think more people need to remember, well, you know, I can go to the mall with you and buy stuff, but if that doesn't, sorry.
That's okay.
Like
we was wondering what was happening here. That's fine.
I keep to keep the creeps from spying on me.
That's fine. Got you. Well, I heard about that, but go ahead. Yeah. That you got to block. It was a movie with that, but anyway, go ahead.
You got to keep it. You got to keep crazy that. People are crazy. But yeah, you know, if something is not serving you, something's not serving you, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. It's okay to be selfish. And if these people do kind of come back into your life later on, then great, it was meant to be, but you do need to put yourself first and focus on whatever you're trying to achieve. I think someone who's always like a people pleaser, a lot of times those people are depleted of their energy, and they're not actually moving toward where they want to go. A lot of times when I see people who are like that, they're in a period of stagnation, and sometimes for years. And I'm like, well, you've been working on this one goal for 10 years, and yet you're still, you know, giving everyone your time and your attention and your energy, but what's left for you? And I like to reserve the majority for me, and then whatever's left over, that's what I can give to the people around me.
I mean, again, so much with that answer. I got to scale back and just agree with you. You took the words right out of my mouth. I think when you got priorities, that's so important to you. You got to be selfish. You can't be everywhere and somewhere at the same time. You have to be selfish with your time. Get you together, then you're able to help someone else. Another thing you said that illuminated my brain, I think from the financial world, Warren Buffett said one of the best words he liked is saying no. Right. And you would think, you were like, well, how did you know, like you're about 34th richest guy in the world.
How are you so successful when you say no all the time?
Exactly. Yeah. But he said along the journey, because I read one of his books, there's so many books he got out there. I read one of his books, and he talked about how saying no has helped him through his whole business journey. So I digress with that. Where'd you go to school? And what did you major in?
I went to the University of Texas, and
Okay.
I double majored in international relations and economics.
Economics. Okay. So now economics, we're gonna shift over to the money. So
Yes.
when you was doing economics, did that at all spark it then to say, or was it really just a student loan when real world hit you? Like when did that
Yeah,
spark come from?
yeah, it was real world that hit me, like a lot of people. And I don't know how school is taught now. It's always changing. I have like younger cousins and nieces and everyone from
Mm,
who are in high school all the way to college now. And I'm always
mm.
asking questions about what the curriculum like looks like.
Correct.
But I
Correct.
know when I was in school, whenever you're taught about economics, money, finance, whatever, it's always, well, not, I won't say always, but typically from a either like a government level, and that's kind of what my focus was, because I double majored in international relations.
Okay.
So we talked a lot about economics globally,
Mm-hmm.
macro and micro,
Mm-hmm.
and finance. A lot of times is taught just about based on corporate finance.
Correct.
And so we're learning really, really important things and really, really valuable things about how money works in the world and in
Mm-hmm.
businesses,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't always trickle down to how it works in our personal lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I would argue that how it works in our personal lives is most important.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's weird, sometimes I know a lot of people who studied accounting, right? And they can balance someone's books and assets and liabilities like no other, but they can't seem to manage a budget for themselves.
Horrible with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I know. So yeah, I personally know someone who is an accountant, and
Mm-hmm.
she is in so much debt.
Wow.
And eventually, yeah, at one point could no longer even afford to live on her own and
Wow.
had to move in with someone. I mean, crazy, good at, knowledgeable
Correct.
about
Knowledgeable.
accounting and
Correct.
corporate accounting, and can probably run a business, but just
Mm.
couldn't even manage her life,
Mm.
or her personal finances, I should
Mm-hmm.
say. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, it wasn't school, I guess, that kind of prompted my interest, because I hadn't been put in a situation yet to where I actually had to manage money. It was just like,
Correct.
okay, I'm in school, my rent is paid for my apartment, and I have food
Mm.
to eat. But you're not thinking about investments. You're not thinking about
You're
just kind
not.
of longer term things at that
Mm-mm.
point. You're just like,
Mm-mm.
can I eat food today? And can I have fun on my weekends? And if that's
Fun.
okay, then you're cool.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. Uh-huh.
Exactly. And so, yeah, once I kind of hit real world, that's when it was just like a slap in the face, and reality just hit me. And I knew that I needed to make a change and learn how to manage money for myself. And it's so weird, as someone who studied money, and I still didn't know, like, I didn't even know where to start. I kind of had to
Mm.
figure things out and trial and error, but I had no basis for it. And so I do
Mm.
think that that's kind of an area of opportunity with the education system. I think that
Correct.
it should almost be mandatory
Correct.
for
It
us to
should.
learn, even in high school, because not everyone goes to college.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
In high school, we should be learning just the basics of, money management 101. Here's how you manage a budget. Here's how you manage your lifestyle. But
Mm.
yeah, it was real world that kind of let me know, like, hey, you need to snap out of this. You're not a kid anymore. You need to grow up and take
Mm.
charge of your life.
Okay. Okay. Now we got that great back end of the story. Now we're going to dig into the insight and the knowledge and direction that Tangie can put out there. So what would you say for somebody that's saying, okay, I'm out of school, been out of school 2 or 3 years now, or somebody that's fresh out of school, got this debt. I'm in debt $40, $50, $60,000 because I went from bachelor's, I went in and got my master's, right? Or just got a master's. So I have all this debt, and I got a job paying me $45,000 a year, and I got to eat. And I like to get my hair done, like get a haircut, I like nice clothes, but I want to get out of debt. What is some great advice that Tangie would tell them?
Well, if you like nice clothes, you already have nice clothes, so stop buying new nice clothes.
Mm,
Um, but
mm,
yes, so if you're someone who you do have, especially when your debt exceeds your annual income, you
mm,
have a problem.
mm,
Like that's a problem that needs immediate attention. In
mm,
my opinion, that's not something that you can just ignore. Hey, I make $45,000, but I'm in $60,000 worth of debt. Like,
mm.
that's going to take you many, many years to pay off, just for the simple fact that you don't even make enough. Even if you spent none of your annual salary, you
Okay.
still can't even, cover your debt.
Mm-hmm.
And so for someone in that position, then I would say, well, are your basic needs met? Can you afford a place to stay? Can you
Mm,
afford food to eat, transportation to and from your job? If you have all of those things, and another thing too, this is kind of a side note. Do you have a safe place to stay that is not breaking the bank either?
mm.
Because I know when I graduated, you've been to Dallas, you know, Uptown's the cool place where all the young
That's
people
right.
want to be at.
That's right.
And I knew, I was like, oh, I want an Uptown apartment and the new place, and it's going to be so cool with all these amenities. But if you can't afford that, you know, if your take home pay is $3,500 a month, you can't afford a $2,000 a month apartment. You just can't afford it. So I'm not saying that you need to go and live somewhere where maybe you feel entirely uncomfortable or maybe entirely unsafe. But that's the first thing I do see a lot of people do. A lot of young people specifically are spending way too much on housing. And it's because they want to live in a nice place. And I'm like, you better, you know, go north a little bit or south a little bit, you know, get on the outskirts, get yourself a nice safe place to stay. And, you know, maybe save $300 a month on your rent if possible, because you're throwing that money back, you know, into your budget, or that money could be used toward your debt. So make sure you're living within your means instead of trying to be cute and trying to show off for people who don't even matter. Just stop trying to show off for people who don't pay your bills.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
You're right. It's because when I thought about why I wanted that, you know, why did I want this new car? Why did I want the cool apartment? I was like, well, I actually don't care.
Bingo.
I don't care. If I'm safe, if I have a safe place to stay and my car is safe and it's not going to break down on the side of the road, I'm fine. And so that's important. Make sure that you are not driving a car that you can't afford. I feel like those are two places where people splurge that are so easy to cut back on. You know, you could save hundreds of dollars, sometimes even $1,000 a month, if you just get a car that you can actually afford, and you rent an apartment you can actually afford, and then take out those unnecessary expenses. So if you have clothes to wear to work, you know, they look decent, they're within your company's dress code, that you don't need to keep buying things. So I think it's just a matter of being disciplined and resisting the temptation to go and do all these unnecessary things. But whenever you're in debt and you're trying to pay off debt, you need to just make sure the basics are covered, cut out the temptation to do everything else. And I know hair, you mentioned haircuts and getting your hair done. I know that's a big deal. I know that's a big deal, especially in the Black community. And it's layered. You know, there's so many reasons why our hair is important to us. It's not just a vanity thing. But so I don't know anything about haircuts.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, my point in saying that is just the fact of just saving $1. And do you really need it, or can you say, I got this bill here, I'm spending $45 a week, let's say for a guy's haircut, between $20 to $35, $40 a week. So say if somebody's getting a haircut every week and the haircut is $40, but I know I'm trying to pay down this debt. Can you get a haircut once a month or twice a month versus every week? So now you're spending $160 a month on a haircut. The sacrifice part, which you talked about earlier. So that's why.
Right. And that's why I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm like, I don't know how long y'all can go without a haircut, but if you can, so for instance, nails. One of my sisters, I was talking to her because she's always talking about, you know, money, you know, living paycheck to paycheck. And one of the things she mentioned that she started doing, so she hasn't stopped getting her nails done entirely, but she's like, okay, well, you know, my nails, you know, I like getting my manicure and my pedicure, but I don't need to go get my pedicure every 2 weeks. You know, she started to stretch it to once a month. And I was like, yeah, why? You wear closed-toe shoes. It's the winter time, you know. I'm like, you gonna wear closed-toe shoes until March, maybe even April.
Correct.
You don't need to get a pedicure every week or every 2 weeks. If you can, you know, if it's healthy, I guess, and I guess different positions, right? Of course. But, you know, if you're healthy enough to where you can get your pedicure every 4 weeks, then do that. You know, because instead of spending, you know, now you're spending $60 a month maybe on that instead of $120 a month or so. So yeah, those little things you can cut out. Like I said, I realized I was spending hundreds of dollars every month on getting my nails done. And I love my nails are done now. I got my Halloween nails. Like that's something that I love. But that, for me, when I was drowning in debt, that was stupid. It was a stupid purchase. My nails don't do anything. My nails don't bring me income. My nails don't do anything but make me happy. And most people probably don't care about my nails. I care a lot about my nails. Most people around you don't care about your nails. And honestly, most people around you, you know, maybe your friends and stuff in the Black community or so, but for the most part, most people don't care about your haircut.
Not the slightest.
People don't care. Yeah, I do not care. And so I think you do have to kind of acknowledge that, you know, you can still have the things you want in moderation. Maybe you don't want to completely quit everything cold turkey. Maybe that's too much for you, but you can at least cut back. and stretch things a little bit further, because you'll be surprised. Like you said, if you get 2 haircuts a month instead of 4, that puts a lot of money, you know, back into your bank account each month. And that money can be redirected toward paying off debt, or maybe investing, or, you know, saving to buy your first home. But that money can be used toward going toward your goals. And one thing that you'll find, like one thing that I've noticed and is that some of the things that I cut out are things that I realize I can actually live without.
Live without. Exactly.
And it's surprising, because now I'm like, well, like I don't have debt anymore. I'm making more money than I was in the past, and I'm also spending less money. And so it's just like, wow, I have, you know, my net worth is growing a lot faster, because I learned, you know, it's hard at first to get rid of those things we're used to. But once you do, sometimes you're like, I don't need that. I don't need to get my car washed. Maybe for a guy, maybe guys, y'all care. But it rains or whatever. I'm like, I don't need to get my car washed every week. Like I can go every other week or once a month with that, you know, because I don't really care about what the outside of my car looks like. So yeah, you can just see what's important to you, what's not, and see, you know, if you can live without something, get rid of it. If you can't, just kind of stretch it to make your dollar go further. That way you have more money, you know, saved for you.
Well, you know, again, you said so much there. I got to just do a little bit of peeling back. Yes. One thing you said, I think particularly us of color, which is sometimes our downfall, is the impressing of other people, right? So we want to impress. There's nothing wrong with looking good. You know, I think we was made to always look good, but you can do that on a budget if you are in them strict areas where, though, you know, you got all this debt. So are you really doing it for yourself, or are you really doing it for the people, right? So like you said earlier, people don't really care. Don't care less about that. Hey guys, thank you for watching our show. We're going to interrupt you real quickly. We are in the business of referrals. If you know someone looking to buy or sell, residential or commercial, here in the North Carolina area, refer us. We really appreciate that. So, transition. Income in terms of training, academy, what do you do to benefit, I guess, financially? Now, because I ain't trying to get on your business, but how do you, if somebody says, well, what does Tangie do? How did she get out of debt? What job she was on?
Yes. So when I was paying off debt, so it was shortly after college. So I did have a full-time job at that point. And then I was also, you know, side hustling, as people say, and doing social media work and, you know, as working as like a brand strategist with different companies. So, and I did that mainly because I was like, how can I make as much money as possible to direct toward my debt? So I was tired a lot. You know, it was definitely, again, back in that not so fun time for me, because I knew, well, how do you pay off debt? How do you grow your net worth? You decrease your expenses, but you also can increase your income, or you can do both at the same time. And if you can do both at the same time, then you can, you know, speed up that process a lot faster. So yes, I was working full time, and I did have a side hustle like a lot of people do these days, which, you know, if there is something that you're good at, or something that you're passionate about, and something that you can monetize, I say you should do it anyway, whether you're in debt or not. But certainly if you are trying to pay off debt, or again, working toward another financial goal, if it's not going to completely deplete you, you know, I say go for it. Now, during that time, I will say, I don't think I did it quite the right way. Like I was tired a lot, but being tired, you can get over that. That to me, that's not a big deal. But it did start to kind of impact my health in some ways. And so, you know, don't sacrifice your health for the sake of paying off a student loan. Like you have the rest of your life. Well, I don't know what the rest of your life, whatever the term of your loan is, you have that. So of course, I like to say
they want it to be the rest of your life.
They want it to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're not going to allow that to happen. But yeah, so yeah, work your butt off to increase your income if you can, or add multiple sources of income. But I just like to warn and advise people: don't deplete yourself, don't completely drain your energy, and don't sacrifice your health for anything ever. You know, nothing's more important than your health and your well-being.
Do people reach out to you and say, "Hey, Tangie, I need help. I need account"? Because what I've realized, in a real estate realm, well, not just in real estate, just in general, I think people want to be held accountable, right? Because they lack the discipline, right? And so it's like, okay, well, we can You know, we can set up a coaching call, which is, I don't charge nobody, but I mean, we can set up a call, anything I can do to help you get from point A to point B, C, and D. So do you do any of that, just in case our viewers say, hey, listen, I want to reach out to her because she looks like me. She's somebody I can relate to. She can hold me accountable. Does that work in your realm at all?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up because it's something that is I'm starting to get more of those questions.
Really?
It would be like, oh, here's this DM, and I'll respond to you back. Or here's this email, okay, I'll respond to you back. But I do realize, I'm starting to realize, like you said, people are needing more accountability. People are saying, hey, this one email is just not enough. Let's take this a step further. So I actually am working on a program so that I can provide a service where I do more of that mentoring longer term. Exactly. So yeah, anyone that has any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me. I do respond. You see, I respond to my DMs. I do respond to my email.
Look here, I got to say something to that. One thing, we keep it real on the show. She did respond. Took about a week and a half. But it was fine. But I know she was extremely busy. But I'm very, very appreciative that she did respond because some people don't even respond. But thank you again for that. Yeah, because I had to ask that because I know people will ask after the show, even though we'll have all your information. Hey, I want to reach out to her and she might be able to give me some coaching to help me out.
Yeah, and please do. And one thing that I do always like to, anytime I do like an interview or anything, I like to tell people, like, I think sometimes when we listen to a podcast or we watch, someone's show, we see the guest as someone who's like in this special position, or maybe that's just me.
I know, I get it. I feel that. I see what you're saying. I see where you're going with it.
Yeah. Right. And so sometimes you're just like, oh, okay, well, like they've made it. I don't want to ask them, or maybe they can't quite relate. And that's definitely not true. Like I don't think I'll ever have to consider myself to have ever made it, so to speak. Again, I'm always working toward new goals. And I think we should always be working on improving ourselves and just getting better in our lives. But yeah, I'm still on my financial journey too.
Correct.
Just because I paid off debt doesn't mean like, okay, you paid off debt. Yay, you did it. Like,
I know, right?
You're just popping now. I'm like, no, that's not quite the case, because investing is really important to me now. Building my net worth is really important to me now. Expanding my real estate portfolio is really important to me. So I'm still on this journey of learning more about money and about finances. So just because I transitioned out of one phase of my life, like I'm still doing this. So yeah, don't feel, if anyone out there is like me, and sometimes you kind of feel like, oh my gosh, they know so much. They're not relatable. They're not approachable. Don't feel that way at all about me. Please feel free to reach out, DM, email anytime, and I'm happy to chat.
Gotcha. As long as it's respectable, guys, we're gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
So let's transition to the investment world, the investment thing. What kind of investments you have ongoing, and what do you kind of see yourself, where you want to go with the goals? Or enlighten us with that.
Yeah, so kind of on the grand level. So I do invest. I think investing, we think of kind of two camps, and you invest in securities, so stocks, bonds, index funds, and things like that, and real estate. I got started first with investing in stocks and bonds, just because I think that's easier. You can do that at a smaller stake. It was easier for me. Again, everyone.
No, you're right though. You're right.
Yeah, everyone's different. You can start investing a lot of times with $5, whereas you can't always go buy a house with $5 or go buy some land. So, and I wasn't even thinking about real estate investing. I didn't even know anything about it. To be honest, a lot of people that I know, and just in my family, they are not investors and not even homeowners. So a lot of it was brand new to me. And, but again, yeah, starting investing in the market was easier. I was like, oh, I just need $1 to open my Robinhood account. I was like, okay, I can do this. And then I started to learn more about it and just take it more seriously. You mentioned Warren Buffett earlier, who I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with Warren Buffett, and I read a lot of money books. And one thing that, you'll have a lot of money experts, so to speak, and they all have different advice, and they use different methods to accumulate wealth. But one thing that they've all done is that they do invest in the market. Even the most successful real estate investors
Correct.
that are out there, a lot of them
Facts.
still do invest in stocks. They don't always
Oh,
say it.
Yeah, they don't
But
say it. Gotcha.
Yeah, they don't say it because you got to highlight
Correct.
one, right? But they invest in the market. So I started
Correct.
investing in the market again because, like I said, it was just easier. The barrier to entry was lower. And then as I kind of got comfortable with being able to make those decisions for myself quickly, you know, I learned how to quickly identify, okay, is this a company that I want to invest in? How much money do I want to invest? Do I want to do this now? Do I want to wait? Blah, blah, blah. Once I got comfortable with making those decisions, then that's when I set my sights on real estate, because I think that's an area too where you have the people who like to talk about stocks all day, but what they don't tell you is that they are also typically big real estate investors too. So the way I see it, some of the most successful people and wealthiest people in the world, they do both. And I said, well, hey, if I want to be successful and I want to be wealthy, I should be doing what those people are doing. So real estate has been a lot of my focus now, just because, and let me tell you, oh my God, what real estate's a headache. I've enjoyed it, but I'm still in this phase of, you know, where I do own property and I do invest in REITs, but it's still, I'm not comfortable.
We got to interject.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell us what a REIT is. People's got to know what a REIT is.
Yes. A REIT is a real estate investment trust. So, and I should mention, that's how I got started actually investing in real estate. Was through REITs. Again, I didn't have any money to, like a lump sum of cash to just go buy something, to go buy property. And I also had no idea how to finance real estate deals. And so, excuse me. I started by investing in REITs. And so again, a REIT is a real estate investment trust. And basically what that does is that just pulls money together from various investors. So maybe you have $500 you want to invest. Somebody else has $1,000 that they want to invest. And this is happening at a big scale, not just, you know, 5 people pulling their money together.
Exactly.
And so, you know, then that's when maybe a commercial building is purchased, you know, like an apartment building or an office building. And whenever that property is sold or whenever it grows in value, they kind of, a lot of real estate investment trust companies, they do things in different ways, and I do invest in a few. But whenever there is something lucrative that happens with that deal, then you'll get some money back from it, from the sale or from, you know, dividends.
And you made this purchase via where?
So I started with Fundrise. I know that there are a few others out there. One thing too, what shifted me from focusing primarily on investing in REITs is because I did want something of my own too. So again, REITs was, for me, I was like, okay, I can start investing in real estate. The barrier to entry is low. I'm kind of a little bit more protected, right, than if I go and do a deal on my own. And so I wanted to go do that, kind of get my feet wet. And once I got comfortable with it, that's when I moved on to the next step of you know, having my own property. But so yeah, I think that if you are interested in investing in real estate, I know a lot of people don't even invest in REITs at all, but it was just something that kind of helped me get comfortable with terminology, and I have made money back from it too. So you know, it's been lucrative. It's been something that has been successful for me. But yeah, it helped me get comfortable. I'm a very financially conservative person. And so I'm not a person who's like, oh, you did that? You made a whole bunch of money? Great. I'm going to go do it tomorrow. Like I move slow. And so I like to take kind of baby steps. And, but yeah, and now kind of entering this world of actually having a physical property that's yours and the responsibilities that come with that. That's definitely been like I'll say, fun at times in terms of seeing the growth and knowledge that you have and the income and also the income potential. But for me, it's definitely a lot of work too. So I know real estate investing, you know, you see the cool things on Twitter and you see the cool things on
That's
Instagram.
Just the cool things, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's the facade. That's what I say. I need to give you the facade, then I want you to swipe up and buy this program.
Right, exactly. And not talking about, you know, I spent this Saturday, all day Saturday, beautiful day, great day. And then we had all this cold weather. So it was my last day to be happy. And I spent all that time with realtors, all that time going around viewing properties, and all that time talking to lenders. And I was just like, it was a good Saturday, right? A productive Saturday, but that's not fun for me. That's not fun for me. And so, yeah, I was like, okay, this is the way it goes. And this is my first time doing something completely by myself, I'm not married. I don't have, a husband who's kind of making these choices with me.
Correct.
My dad is not dictating, like it's all me 100%.
Okay.
And so yeah, I think that's one thing to be mindful of. I think that everybody should invest, assuming that their financial situation suits it. I think that investing is the ultimate way to build wealth. It's honestly one of the only proven ways to build wealth. I mean, since centuries ago, that's how people were building wealth. So you should definitely be investing, but I don't like the kind of pretty like foo-foo picture that I think a lot of people paint of investing online. Like it's stressful. This week, you might have even looked at your own holdings and you're like, whoa, the value of my portfolio decreased a lot, lot this week. When the pandemic first happened, I was in the red. Like all the money I'd ever made investing, like I was in the hole. And it was just like, oh my God. And then I got happy because I was like, wait, this is a great opportunity to go invest more. But at first it was just like, oh my gosh. So
what do I do?
Yeah, what do I do? So there's definitely like an emotional roller coaster that comes with investing in the market and in real estate. And I do like people to be aware of that. Like it's not just fun. Money is fun. We love money.
Correct.
But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work that goes into it.
A lot of people don't get that part. We're going to shift to you said Robinhood, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about Robinhood, because that was a part of your the many videos and pictures you have on IG, which you mentioned Robinhood a lot. How has Robinhood been a blessing to you? And tell us what Robinhood is.
Robinhood is my best friend. Robinhood is an investing app, and it's simple. It's made investing accessible to a lot of us. I like to say little people. There was a time where investing was only a rich man's game. And
you got to call a guy up. Hey, invest this.
Exactly. And good luck getting a broker to even give you the time of day if you don't have, if you're not already an accredited investor, you don't already have, $1 million invested or the super high net worth, so good luck getting someone to take you seriously. And so Robinhood is awesome because it's great for, it's a robo advisor also. So it does kind of give you a lot of information on investing, but with Robinhood, you can start investing with $1. Robinhood is how I actually got started investing. That was the first account that I opened up because again, I was able to start with just a little bit of money. And because it's a robo advisor, it does give me a lot of information in my app. I can just use my phone and learn about a company, learn about their history, learn about recent news going on with them. And I can I see their 52-week high, the 52-week low. I know what they're selling at today. I get buy, sell, hold recommendations. So especially for someone who's new and you're not comfortable completely deciding those things for yourself, it does help to see all of that information in one space. And so, yeah, Robinhood has been golden for me. And once it allowed me to get comfortable. And I don't know if you have experience with Robinhood or any of the other apps.
I have.
Yes. And so if you've seen their user interface versus the user interface versus, I'll say Fidelity because I do have an account with Fidelity. So I don't want anyone to think I'm saying anything bad. I do love Fidelity. But their user interface versus the Robinhood user interface is very, very different. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not tech savvy. I can't even function. Like I can't make these choices using my Fidelity app. It's so confusing for me. It's super old school, I feel like. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. And my Robinhood app, I'm just in there all day, like pushing, okay, I'm going to buy, I'm going to sell, I'm going to go do this. So I think it's really beginner friendly for someone who just wants to be able to, it's straightforward, right? You don't want to have to read between the lines and figure all this stuff out and look at candlestick charts and everything. Like nobody wants to do that when they're brand new. So I think it's a great place to start for a newbie investor or even more seasoned investors. Like you said, you're familiar with it. And I love my Robinhood account. So,
got you.
But yeah, it's a great place to start.
How much did you start it off with? $5, $10, 20?
Yeah, I started, about probably $5 or $10. And then once I was like, oh, this thing is Cool. I did transfer a lump sum, but I didn't invest it. So you can still transfer if you guys don't know, because I was talking to I finally got my sister after 2 years, got her to create a Robinhood account a few months ago. And I told her, I was like, you can start, just put $1 there, but you don't need to buy anything yet. So yeah, I transferred a lump sum of cash, but I still didn't do anything with it until I felt comfortable. But yeah, I had about $1,000 or so there, and I was slowly making decisions with that. And Robinhood's cool too, because I don't know if you get excited about free stuff like I do. I'm so cheap. I'm frugal.
Gotcha.
I'm frugal.
Well, you know, so I got a word for that, because some people use me as well. I call it fiscally responsible.
Hey,
exactly.
Let me use that. Next time I'm at the store using my coupons,
exactly,
I'm like, well,
right?
I'm fiscally responsible. I'm building wealth here. But yeah, it's cool because you can, like I said, it's just like you can start baby steps. You don't have to invest anything right away. Just let yourself get comfortable. But it's cool. And Robinhood, they give you a free stock. And I was really excited about that free stock. It's funny though, because they're like, oh, here's IBM or here's Amazon. Like you can get a free stock, and they don't give you any of those for free. They give you, I got Groupon.
Oh, Groupon. Gotcha.
I got Groupon, but I don't know. It's trading at like $1 now, but I was still really excited to have something for free. But it's cool because it's like, as soon as you open your account, you own something right away.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And that does feel good. Yeah. To own something and be able to watch what it's doing.
So let me make sure I gather all this up, Ms. Tangie, again, because me and you could talk for hours on this one, because I think we're on the same page on this right here. I hear I was tired because I was working my side hustle. I was doing things that was not fun. I was, I invested $5 initially. Actually, I invested, my sister had to watch me go through the fire first before I invested, because a lot of times people want to see you. Let me see her lose her money. Then I'll put my money up. That's what happens with a lot of people.
True. That is true.
The discipline and all of this came, you boiled all this together. You got a great product in terms of pay down your debt, your discipline, and you're on your trajectory path is nothing but success. I take it.
Amen. Hopefully.
So exactly. But my point, because she's signaling me like, Mike, we need to wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
But what I will say, we ask every guest to be on the show, give us two great golden nuggets. What you want to give out there to the viewers about investing, just anything you want to give. Go ahead and go.
So the first bit is to always keep learning. And whatever that means to you. I'm a reader. It seems like you are
Readers
too.
Are leaders.
Hey, I say that all the time.
That's right.
Readers are leaders. And I am always reading new finance books. So I think that's really important. Even if you're not paying off debt, right? Even if you're not someone who's in a position like that, just, they say, money makes the world go round, and learning how to manage money and how to invest your money is really important for yourself. And then also for future generations, for your kids and grandkids. So I'd say if you can make it a goal to read at least one personal finance book per month, I think that's very, very important with getting comfortable. And just that second bit, you touched on it, is discipline. You have to be really, really disciplined. You have to put your blinders on and have tunnel vision. Cut out the noise, cut out the distractions, worry about your damn self, focus on you and what you have going on, and attack those goals with complete tenacity, and you'll get to where you want to be. And then it becomes easy. It's kind of like a muscle. Discipline is like a muscle.
That's it.
Once you exercise it, once you train yourself and you keep exercising, it's second nature. It's easy to do what's best for you. But always educate yourself with personal finance. So always keep, whether it's listening to podcasts,
correct,
whether it's
the Headley Group Real Estate Show.
Exactly. So gotcha. you can listen to podcasts, you can read books, you can read blog articles, but make financial education a consistent part of your life, and be disciplined in everything you do, not just with your finances. Be completely disciplined in your life, and I think you will be successful. And
take action. A lot of people, boy, they read 20,000 books and be like, I'm gonna start next week. You be like, in 5 years it went past.
Yep, exactly. I'm like, oh, you're still in that same spot. Same spot. You're right. So I guess I'll throw a bonus one. Just do it. Get started.
That's it. Just like the night commercial. All right, Ms. Tangie, thank you for coming on our show. Look, we really, really appreciate it. And I would say, oh, by the way, you got about 35,000 followers. I need some of them people. So please like and share our content, so this way we can have continued success. Please like and subscribe, peoples. It's the Headley Group Real Estate Show.